What a stunning day. Sheffield seems to have been graced with summer. It won't last. It won't last. Anyway, what I'm going to show you today is Marley. There we go. Say hello, Marley. Marley, say hello, mate. Alright then, don't. Right. Most people know I'm a hoarder. I'm a hopeless hoarder. And this is just a bit of wood. What I have hoarded. And it's quite old. I think it's hardwood. So what I'm going to do is sand it down and see if I can get a decent Lichtenberg on there. We shall see. But it is actually, you know, it should be alright. Because I've got an idea for a new electrolyte. I want to try this different electrolyte on softwood and hardwood. I think it's going to work really, really well on hardwood. So this is a bit of an experiment. We shall see. Okay. Okay, this was an experimental Lichtenberg, and I think it's on oak. And I tried a slightly different electrolyte. Excuse me. Been breathing in all the smoke and everything and dust. So I've now the burn's finished. I've cleaned it off with a wire brush and sanded it briefly. I'll give it another wire brush in a minute and then a final sanding before it's done. I'm quite proud of that. So if anybody's got any hardwood that they no longer have a use for, so an old bed frame or futon base or anything oak or any hardwood, then I will find a use for it. And if anyone does provide me with any hardwood, I will provide them with a unique Lichtenberg. So there we go, that's that. That's what I've been doing today. Okay, it might not be a lot, but it's better than nothing. I'm actually quite proud of that. Yeah, so my new technique, when I've perfected the new technique, I will publish it to the world. But until I know that I'm doing what I think I'm doing, I don't want to potentially kill anyone. So there you go. That's today's Lichtenberg. Okay, I have to admit, I've never made a frame before. So I'm quite proud of that. I don't know whether it is landscape or it's portrait. It's a difficult one. So this was made out of the piece of hardwood earlier. And what I didn't mention, I didn't want to spoil a surprise, so I won't be putting this video up until after the presentation, is that this is a slat from the futon base of the futon that my sister gave birth to Zachary on. And all those years ago. Crumbs, it seems a lifetime ago. Anyway, they was throwing out the base, and I always keep things like that. I'm notorious for hoarding scrap bits of wood, but as you can see, it sanded up really nicely, and it worked really, really well for the Lichtenberg. So that now is, I think landscape looks nice, although it might make quite a nice mirror. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that. I'll go through the photos, see if I can find a nice photo of Zach and Jodie. And the reason I'm doing that is because this is for me mum on her birthday. So I thought, rather than usually every year, yeah, we take her out and stuff like that, because you can't keep her in a box all year. So we take her out, and and give her sort of presents that we bought. And I thought this year I'd actually make something, which is why I've been dicking around all morning trying to do this Lichtenberg. And I'm really quite pleased with this. I just hope the frame holds together, and I'll try and find a nice photo to go in it. So yeah, that's what I've done today. I'll come back when it's all finished. It still needs sanding a bit more, round all the edges off and stuff like that, and varnishing obviously. I wasn't going to varnish it because I really like the feel of this, but I think it will need a varnish. Anyway, that's that. Well, I decided I'd varnish it. I thought I could either probably oil it or varnish it, and then I thought it's probably going to look better with varnish. So this is satin, polyurethane satin varnish, and it's strange. I think. Oh, hang on. Can't lie. I'm not sure if it's just the way the light's catching it. I think it is just the way the light's catching it. It seems to be bringing out a lot of the depth of it. It'll be interesting to see once it's dried, because this is only satin, this isn't gloss. It'll be interesting to see exactly how much detail it does pull out of the grain, and then just to see how the Lichtenberg effect is. I'm not overly happy with some of these corners because there's a gap. That's Marley agreeing with me. I did set the mitre saw to 45 degrees, but I think it's a tiny little bit out, which is, it's just annoying really. When you've got OCD like me, you like these things to be perfect. But I'm reasonably pleased. There's no artificial light in here, this is all daylight. I'm reasonably pleased with the outcome. So when that coat's dry I shall do the back, and then when that's dry I'll turn it over and do the front again, and then the back, and then the front, then the back, then the front. Fade. I can't fade out on this anyway. Okay, I've just put the second coat of varnish on the Lichtenberg frame. I still don't know whether I'm going to make it a picture frame or a mirror. I haven't rebaited the back, so making it a picture frame would be difficult because I won't be able to get glass in there. So it might end up as a mirror, just glued to the back. I'm very pleased with the effect from the slat from the futon base, which is all it was. The futon base upon which my sister gave birth to her firstborn, Zachary. And when they come to throw the futon base out, I hosed it down. That's an awful thing. I can't believe I just said that. I salvaged it, and I keep all that sort of stuff. I don't throw things away. And then sanded it down, and it was perfect for the Lichtenberg. And this is now going to be a present for me mum's birthday. And she'll probably hate it, or think I'm a cheapskate, or whatever. And she's right, I'm a cheapskate, because I'm fucking broke at the moment. But I'm just, I'm really quite proud of the result. And if she doesn't like it, fuck it, I'll bring it back and buy her a bloody tree for the garden or something. But there you go. So that's the picture frame. Second coat of varnish. I've got to get at least 3 more coats on, and paint the back of it, or varnish the back of it. So it's likely that it will still be tacky by the time I take it down for her birthday. There you go. Okay, so it's I gave it a quick rub down with sandpaper, glass paper, I suppose you should say, emery cloth, because it's not really sandpaper, abrasive material, and yeah, quite happy with that. And then I thought, well, what am I going to do to get the picture in there? And then I thought that's why I should really just stick with my idea of putting a mirror behind it. But I was convinced to make it a picture frame, so I went and bought a cheap picture frame. And I just kept the backing and the glass, that's all. The rest of it I threw away. And this will just about fit in there. So that will go in there. Glass obviously first, and then I thought, well, how am I going to fix that in? Tape, but then if she wants to change the picture or something, and I thought I've got some old bits of shitty oak that I think it's oak or something or other, that when I refitted Mustn't Grumble, I just kept some of this trim. So what I did was cut it down and sand it, and that's the original varnish that was on there. So all I've done is shape it, cut it down, sand it, and so I thought I'll make a little frame that will go around it. And then I thought, well, how am I going to hold it in? They use those little pin things that stick in. I don't really like those. And I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know what they were called. And that's what I wanted, these things. And what they actually do, oh God, my arthritis is so I can't pick things up. So they go on there like this. But then I thought, where on earth am I going to find those in Sheffield? And so I tried things like Hobbycraft and The Range and all those places. And then I thought, oh no, I'll search for picture framing. And I found this place called Memento, tucked away in a little side street, literally round the corner. And I went in there, and it's this lovely little old Asian bloke, and fantastic guy. And he said, oh, I've got some of those somewhere, I'm not sure where. I said, yeah. I said, that's always a way. But, you know, he said, don't, look, he says, I'm sorry. And he hunted around. He said, I can't find them. He said, can you come back? I said, yeah, I can come back tomorrow, that's all right. So I went to pull away, and he leapt out in front of the van. So I found them. I mean, what? It's just lovely. A beautiful find. And this shop, tucked away sort of like in a little side street off Attercliffe Road. Just what a find. Brilliant. I love that about Sheffield. So anyway, so this is recycled. The picture frame cost me £2.99, and these were 40p each. And so, you know, for less than a tenner, I think we've got it sussed. What a cheapskate, aren't I? I'm quite pleased that these work out of Mustn't Grumble. So there's bits of Mustn't Grumble. There's bits of my sister's futon base made with a bit of an old microwave. It doesn't get much better than that, does it? Anyway, so now I shall get to the stage of I need to glue these onto the back and then varnish them, obviously, so it all looks the business. Coming together. I've never done anything like this before. I'm actually quite proud of the result. Right, there we go. So I'm now going to declare this finished. I put those little bits of oak trim on. They haven't worked too badly. They're not all level because it was in pretty bad state. So I had to sand some down more than others to get them all right. So there's a bit of a lip there. I don't think anyone will notice. And the mitre doesn't exactly work properly, but it is the back. And then I thought, well, what picture am I going to put in there? And I thought, there's various options. But being a little bit shallow, I decided on a photo of Marley. So there we have the finished article. The Lichtenberg. I haven't got the best of lighting in here. The Lichtenberg, fully finished, varnished, glazed, thing, whatever, and a picture of Marley. So yeah, reasonably proud of that. I think that's worked out okay. As a bit of an experiment. I know, a bit of a cheapskate, but actually, when I think about it, not so much of a cheapskate, because it's taken about 8 hours of my time, and as some people know, yeah, my time is worthless. Anyway, so that's the final finished article. Very proud of that.